What's up, guys, and welcome back to our Clone Wars Chronological Rewatch. Today we are getting into Season 4, the Season 4 premiere called Water War. It's the Mon Cala arc. What'd you think of this one?
It's okay. It's like the whole episode was just a lot of fighting and it was very violent.
It is very violent.
Sharkman is violent.
Riff Tamson. Yeah. I don't know why I love that name, but I do. Maybe because it reminds me of Biff.
Yeah.
But yeah, him especially, he's very violent. Like, he doesn't even use a blaster. He's like, I'm going to straight up eat you.
Yeah, he's like behaving exactly like a shark would behave in the water.
I liked this episode a lot more than I recalled it. I was like, yeah, the Water War, this is a cool one, but I thought he was a genuinely scary villain.
Yeah.
The theme is when destiny calls, the chosen have no choice but to respond, or something along those lines. And it's all about Lee Char. I mean, this whole kind of arc is Lee Char rising to the occasion because he is a young king only because his father was just assassinated.
Right.
And so he has to learn how to lead.
Yeah, and like, it's fair for people to be like, well, he's young, he doesn't know how to lead, but, you know, Akbar's there to help him.
Yeah, he's got the people around him to assist, and Akbar's the big one, the senator. But yeah, like, the whole kingdom is looking to him, and Akbar has a couple of moments where he's like, make this about you, almost. Like, not in a selfish way, but like in a... get your people excited and ramped up for this fight because they have to be. They need to believe in you.
He needs like a rousing like Aragorn speech from Return of the King or something.
I think we get to that eventually over the course of this. I mean, whenever all the arcs tend to, this one message is going to apply to all three of these episodes. But like I do. It's fun watching this also because I've now seen what happens to Lee Char. Mm-hmm. Like, he does become a great leader in the Star Wars comics. We get to see him rule in the Darth Vader comic and the main Star Wars run and just see what kind of leader he became.
Yeah.
And it's good.
I thought it was interesting, too, towards the beginning when they're having kind of a quorum and... Anakin and Padme are there and they try to chime in, or Padme tries to chime in, and they're just like, get out of here, we don't want your help. Like,
well, it goes back to stuff that George Lucas has always talked about. Star Wars has always been political, and it is like, why does the Republic need to be here? This is a one world matter, and of course they don't want Mon Cala to go over to the Separatists, but like, this is, I think, for the Mon Cala and the Quarren to figure out. The Separatists also had representatives there.
I mean, there's a senator there. There's the Mon Cala senator that's there. So I guess Anakin and Padme being there is to protect and help out the senator. But they're arguing about, like, starting a civil war.
Right. I guess they're there because Riff Tamson is there. But, like, both sides don't need to be there.
Right.
This is like governments butting in where they don't belong because they want what's best for their government and not necessarily what's best for the people. Mm-hmm. And like, even some of the Quarren seem to respect Lee Char. Like, they don't hate him. They said, like, your father was a good person and a great friend. I'm sorry for your loss. Yeah. Like, I wonder if Riff Tamson and Padme and Anakin, like, if no other outside forces were there, it might not have devolved to war. Mm.
I especially enjoyed Kit Fisto in this episode. Because I like whenever we get to see him fight, and then especially underwater.
He's in his element.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was excited to get that call.
And there's a flash of a smile at one point.
I wonder, like, why not send him first? Let's send Anakin. Why? Kit can breathe underwater.
Anakin nearly dies because his helmet gets popped off, and Ahsoka has to come and help him and save him.
I heard like the Sonic 2 drowning music in my head. It was giving me anxiety.
I was spouting out random trivia knowledge and being like, why doesn't he have his A99 aquatic breather?
Schmodown. Still got all that stuff stuck in our heads. Something else that I really like about this episode is the fact that it completely cancels out something from Legends. And I don't mean that like I like that, but I think it's funny. Just Star Wars has always been kind of a mess when it comes to this stuff. And George Lucas has always just done what he wanted to do, no matter what Legends said before. And originally, Mon Cala and the Quarren were like discovered by the Empire. And now we see that is absolutely not the case. And to be fair, we knew that back in episode 1 because the Quarren were there too. Mm-hmm. I just think it's funny that already like things are being retconned and people are still mad about retcons today like they've never happened before. Just popped into my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked this one more than I recall it. I don't know why. I had like this image that it's a very goofy arc, and I know that Jar Jar does come into play in the future, but I've been enjoying the Jar Jar arcs more than I recall as well.
Yeah. I mean, I was more into it towards the end of the episode, I guess. Like, sometimes episodes where it's just a lot of shooting and fighting and people dying, I kind of stare off into the distance and lose interest. But I know the prince gets a pretty interesting story in the long run. So
you are right in that it is just a bunch of swimming and flying and shooting, and there's not a ton to just talk about. But I think the point is to get Mon Cala and the Mon Calamari people in like this dark situation so that Lee Char can rise to the occasion. So they just had to, it's almost like the opposite, where they have to have the big climax up front, so that the emotional stuff can happen at the end.
I also I appreciated the animation for an episode being completely underwater. I just like all the little details from that side of it I thought was interesting. I wonder if that's harder to animate or easier or more fun.
It was probably something where they're like, all right, season 4 premiere, let's do something really cool and different and exciting. And it's not as noticeable as it is in earlier seasons, but I do think there's a bump in animation quality.
Yeah.
Like the difference between seasons 1 and 2 is night and day. Between seasons 3 and 4, it's like, yeah, I feel like it improved a little, but
yeah,
it's not up to season 7 yet.
Season 1 Anakin just looks very angry all the time, has no eyebrow movement.
Well, he's just an angry person. Do you have anything else to say about this one?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, we're going to continue the Water War arc next time. If you haven't already, please like this video, subscribe to the channel.
Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
And consider checking out our Patreon page. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.